So COVID-19, without a doubt, came with many challenges in the education sector, forcing schools across the globe into hybrid learning. At some schools, resources came freely, while for others, widely available Wi-Fi devices and support was not so easy to come by. So it's understood that globally, more than I think it's about 65% of young people under 25 lack internet access at home. In South Africa, more than 90% of the South African households have no access to fixed internet at home. Let's talk a bit about this. Let's chat now to Janine Rebelo, who's a co-founder and CEO of THINK WIFI, on bridging South Africa's gapping educational divide in assisting matriculants access to the internet, in particular for their studies. Janine, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks indeed for joining us. So quite important work that you guys are doing. And without a doubt, you know, those unable to access online teaching from home had suffered a massive gap in their studies, and many risked falling behind. How have you been able to help? I think let's make reference in particular to the class of 2021.
Thank you very much, and I'm very glad to be here. So we've helped and assisted by essentially giving underserved communities the chance to connect without barriers. And we started this company 3 years ago. That was one of the founding principles, is to really, bridge that digital divide and just reduce inequalities. And what we're finding in underserved areas is that people can't necessarily afford mobile data to access online learning platforms or educational videos. So we decided to provide free, uncapped access, free Wi-Fi, without any limitations, without asking for a sign-on or any kind of real information. Just make it quick and easy and freely available to whoever wants to use it in these underserved areas. And that's just allowed free access onto videos, YouTubes, tutorials, classes, submitting assignments. And we've had a lot of people contacting us and telling us how they've been able to continue with school and classes and learning because of the free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, access remains a challenge. COVID-19 still with us as well. How do we as a country bridge this gap? Because there's still many in vulnerable and disadvantaged communities without access.
It's really about changing the model and changing the way our approach to providing connectivity. We've inverted that model, and that we look to the corporate sector, to the business sector, to provide the funding for access and connectivity. And I think anybody in the industry will tell you, this is quite an expensive business. It doesn't come for free. But certainly, if we're going to make the digital economy available for all South Africans, knowing that a lot of South Africans just really can't afford free, uncapped connectivity, then we have to look at other ways of making this service available. And I think that's what's driving this rollout, and will certainly help provide free and equitable access for all. But it's about changing the drive and the commercials behind the model.
Yeah. Let's bring in JD Daniels now, who's a 2021 matriculant who was supported by this initiative. JD, good afternoon to you. Thanks indeed for joining us. I understand that you passed. Congratulations. So how did this initiative help you? I understand that you're from, is it Blikkiesdorp?
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
and how did this
Blikkiesdorp.
initiative help you? Congratulations on passing your matric.
Thank you. It helped me with watching videos and stuff, with revising my work, going over the work we done in class, so I can do my work again. Yeah.
Talk to us about, how much pressure you had before, having access to the internet, and how you could revise your work through this initiative, the pressure that you'd been under as a matriculant, having these connectivity issues and, basically struggling to research and study as well.
Yeah, there was a problem, yes. So Think Wi-Fi helped a lot with giving us access to the internet, helping us, and I think Wi-Fi, yes. But yeah.
I see that you're struggling to tell us how this assisted you, but let's come back to you, Janine. This is an initiative, that many young people can look to and say, this is what I need to try and help me, with my matric. It's such a crucial point of young people's lives, and without that connectivity, very much to where the world is moving towards, South Africa, of course, remaining a lot behind in terms of connectivity. How do we bolster these efforts? I know you spoke about it in brief, but there are many watching at home and thinking, I wish I had access to that kind of connectivity. What kind of assistance do you need as Think Wi-Fi?
Thank you for that. I mean, this is our passion. We spent a long time in telecoms industry, and we stepped out of that environment to just follow our passion, which is connecting people that ordinarily couldn't be connected. It's been quite a journey. I think for us to roll out more, and we've already got over 450 sites across the country. We serve 3.5 million people. And as I said earlier, we look to the corporate sector, we look to industry, and we do that in a few ways. This is ad-funded Wi-Fi, and very, very simply, the users connect. They watch an ad for 30 seconds,
yeah.
And then they get 30 minutes of free airtime. And that airtime is uninterrupted. They could even watch 2 videos or 2 ads back to back, and then get 60 minutes of free airtime, which will allow for a whole lesson or for a tutorial or even a submission, or online submission of an exam.
Yeah.
So, in our view, it's absolutely critical if we want to move this country forward, and provide equitable access to everybody, to the majority. We have to find a way of making connectivity free to those that couldn't ordinarily afford it. So it's just got such huge potential in transferring those costs into the private sector, but the advertisers get benefit as well in that they get exposure to these markets, and the township markets then have a choice. They are brought dignity by having different choices and information. So really, it's almost a circular model in that industry benefits by accessing this market, and this market benefits by having information and by having free connectivity as well. And Carsinomics, if you've ever read that book, is an amazing book, and you'll see that this is really where our growth and sustainability is going to come from.
Very quickly, let me bring in JD. I'm hoping he's still with us. So JD, wat gaan jy nou doen?
En aanstudeer. Ik wil aanstudeer bij universiteit.
Wat gaan jy studeer?
Ik wil onderwijs.
Ah, okay. You want to be a teacher. That's great. All right. That's great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. JD wants to be a teacher there. A bit hesitant there in the beginning, but of course he says he's going to study further. And of course, Janine Rebelo, who's the co-founder and CEO of THINK WIFI, joining us with JD Daniels. He matriculated now in 2021 this past year. He says he's going to be a teacher. And of course, connectivity is still an issue that South Africa still has, in particular in relation to COVID-19 and how schools had to readjust and try to get young people to connect and to continue with their education. Difficult times, but some making it possible for youngsters.